Welcome to edition of What Men Want. Here's your host,
Chris.
Mr. Inspiration.
And here's your other host, Mr. Sensation.
Sensation.
Today we're going to be talking about how to discipline youths at a younger age so that they grow up to be fully confident, fully aware of their surroundings, as well as
to become the
fully
leaders
knowledge.
of tomorrow.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about the tools and resources that they need to become leaders of tomorrow. Well, Mr. Sensation,
Yeah.
what do you think is troubling our youth? How can we make them the leaders of tomorrow?
I think that what's troubling our youths the most is that the parents are spending less and less time with their kids because they're really busy working long hours and having time to go out, and therefore the kids are either stuck home being babysitted, or they're at school, or they're involved in a lot of school activities where there's no extra support from when the individual may be suffering, such as being bullied, such as not getting along with certain individuals in their life, such as having anxiety or stress, and that parents need to spend more time with their kids and less time working, and that's the only way that kids, as well as young youths in our community today's day and age, will grow up to be more aware, more knowledgeable, and more socially accepted.
Good points, Mr. Sensation. Wow, that's some good points. Well, I've had that same conversation with a couple of parents, and they said that they their kids were being raised by grandparents and stuff like that too, and there hasn't been any problems. But there are flaws. Especially if there's a language barrier, a lot of things that can occur in that way. If there's a language barrier, kids can get away with a lot of stuff because they can wrap you around your finger. The grandparents around the finger. And so that's the thing. But one other thing is that the youth, they need to be taught how to be confident.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Right? There's a lack of confidence in our youth. There's even a lack of confidence in adults.
Yeah.
You can even find that out from like the way people handshake. They don't
body language.
They don't make eye contact with you. Like, they're very scared. What are you? I have germs on my hand, or like, are you germophobic or something like that? That you can't shake my hand properly.
Yeah, not having confidence, not feeling up to empowerment.
Right. So these are the problems that we are dealing with. These are the situations that are coming up. There's so many other things, Mr. Sensation, that there's anxiety, there's depression, that this youth at even young ages are dealing with.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to come out of it.
Yeah.
And parents are not paying attention to the red flags that are there.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
I think that you're absolutely right. The parents think that it's just by putting their kids into activities such as playing soccer or after school activities or being tutored, that the kids are okay, they're safe, they're away from the bad adults, the ones that are causing troubles on the school playgrounds. Which, yes, you guys are right, but at the same time, the kid itself is not learning the home traditional tactics that they would be learning if they had their parents surrounded with them at all times. Meaning that if your kid is involved in sports, then maybe go and see that kid playing that sport so that the kid knows that you are sitting there at the bleachers and not just dropping them off and going towards your hair appointment or going towards work or going out with your friends or going anywhere. But the thing is, involve your life around your kids and let your kids evolve around you. When you have each other in your life at all times, even when the kid doesn't see it or when you don't see it, chances are you will have a stronger and a better connection with them, and then that will lead to a successful outcome because the kid will now see you doing things that they didn't see you when they weren't around you, such as being at your hair cutting appointment or such as seeing you at work. They know how to react and how to behave and how to respect others, and that therefore having that type of mutual connection with your kids at all times will lead to a better successful outcome.
Very good points. Mr. Sensation is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. He's on fire. Absolutely on fire. Well, very good points. Very great points. Well, the part I would like to say is that for youth to grow, I mean, there's situations, there's single parents out there too, where sometimes the father might be out of the picture or the mother's out of the picture, something's happened to the mother or they're just not together anymore. But when it comes to a lot of things that come up with youth, in order for them to become leaders, to become good thing, they need to have some kind of a mentor in their around them.
Yeah.
I mean, if the fathers are alive and they are there, they should be stepping up. They should be there to at least learn about their child, get to find out what the abilities are, what their strengths are, what they're lacking, help them achieve their goals and dreams. What's stopping them from becoming what they want to become? Don't push them to become something that they don't want to. I'll give you a perfect example. There was Ken DeJong, who's like the well-known Hollywood superstar of Hangover movie. He was forced to become a physician. He had failed his exam 3 times in order to become a physician because his Korean dad had said to him that you have to become a doctor. But his vision and his dream was to become a stand-up comedian, and he became an actor. Now he's quit his profession. Now he's become an actor. He's doing stand-up comedy. He's enjoying life. Never, ever try to push anything on your children that they don't want to do, because you are going to be responsible
For their actions.
for their actions.
Yep.
And you're also going to be responsible for crushing their dreams and goals. And if they go into a depression, you are not going to be able to bring them back. Do you agree with me, Mr. Sensation?
I absolutely agree with you, and that can go both ways as well. Monkey see, monkey do, perfect example, right? When you see your parents doing things that aren't acceptable, such as the dad is going out or the mom is working long hours or the dad's partying and drinking, you tend to grow up to be that same individual as you grow up. Whatever happens in the household is the same way that individual, that kid's gonna grow up and behave the same way towards his family one day as well. And that therefore, this is why good morals and good respects should always be held in the household, because Big Brother is always watching, meaning that that kid is always watching and he's learning and he's growing up, or she's learning and she's growing up, and she's going to apply those same tactics happening at home. I mean, lately in Surrey, you see all these gun shootings and a lot of stuff happening, and it's not because there's gangsters. It's not because there's a lot of crime and violence happening in Surrey. It's because there's a lot of individuals that come from broken families, or there's a lot of individuals that don't have the proper attitudes and the proper morality because they weren't taught that at a younger age, and therefore they choose to be gangsters, or they have the choice not to be, but they still choose to be because they're not surrounded with loved ones.
No, because they are not getting the attention that they want. They feel neglected. They feel left out. They feel unwanted. No child should ever be like that. Doesn't matter how busy life is, man. You are the one that is responsible for bringing them to their grave.
Yeah.
Not because of what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some cases where there's some, not all parents are to blame, but there's some cases where kids have mental illness, schizophrenia, they have, dementia, they have autism, they have a bunch of other, like mind, problems and diseases and stuff that parents have given up on, that they can't figure out any way what to do with it. But we can't neglect our youth, because the more we neglect our youth, we're going to keep paying the price. It's always going to be somebody dying. Every day somebody's going to be dying. It's not going to stop. It's going to continue. That's what's happening. But if we are not changing ourselves to change the youth, to be there for the youth, there's going to be more youth that is going to die.
Yeah, there's more consequences. Absolutely, I agree with you.
The choice you make, the things you do, are going to make an influence on your child's life. If you don't get to know them, you don't ask them questions about where you took them, I'm sorry to say, they are going to be another casualty on the streets of today. What do you say, Mr. Sensation?
Absolutely, I agree with you. I agree with you, and what you're saying is completely right. You are the face of your children. You are the face of their consequences, and therefore, every actions they may take, good or bad, is going to reflect on you based on how you reflected on them when they were growing up.
Well, that's a wrap for today's edition of What Men Want. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your host, Mr. Inspiration
And Mr. Sensation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.